Meeting called to order?
Yep, sorry, go ahead. Okay.
Go to checks.
We have a couple presentations to make, so Amy's gonna read a letter from the Asbury Park Fishing Club and Joey Pilato, and I'm gonna hand out some checks, so Amy?
Yeah. The whole council should.
Come on, everybody, come on down, yeah. Oh, it's Joey.
And big thank you to the Asbury Park Fishing Club and Joe Pilato, which I'm sure you're going to say a few words more. This past Sunday, the Asbury Park Fishing Club held its 28th annual fishing show in Convention Hall. Our club members appreciate the cooperation provided by Madison Marquette, Gary Matola, Chris, along with their professional team. Although attendance at this annual fundraiser was negatively impacted this year by the coronavirus outbreak, our members felt it necessary to continue our traditional financial support to many local organizations. In addition to donations made to other area nonprofits, it's with great pride that I present to the City Council the following contributions. $2,000 to the Asbury Park Little League. The Asbury Park Boys and Girls Club. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're not giving this to you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dennis, you want to say thanks to the Joe? Congratulations.
To Joe Pilato, we thank you very much, the Fishing Club. We wish Joe all the best, and we thank you. This will go a long way towards our summer camp program and also towards our general expenses for the year, but we have a great summer camp program. All the kids here have gone to the summer camp, and we thank you very much. We appreciate it.
So the next check would be going to the Asbury Park Boys and Girls Club. Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
No, where's the Boys and Girls Clubs? Anybody, they're not here? They don't get a check next year. Hey, there's one thing, and if the Asbury Park Fishing Club is not sending a thank you, you don't get a check next year, which Danny goes out of his way, and everybody does send a thank you to the Asbury Park Fishing Club. Okay, so we'll get that to Doug. And so next is Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
From Monmouth County.
Check for $500 from the Asbury Park Fishing Club.
Thank you so
Just
much.
a moment, take over here.
And you want to say something?
Sure, yeah. Thank you so much, of course, to the Fishing Club. All of our donations to Big Brothers Big Sisters does go right to our one-to-one mentoring programs. We have our community-based program. We also serve lots of children right in Asbury Park. We have 5 school-based and work-based programs. And all this money goes a really long way to those kids to have mentors. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next one goes to the Asbury Park Recreation Trust Fund.
Alicia? So check for $500 towards the rodeo for recreation. Okay.
Thank you to the Fishing Club, Joe Pilato, and Rodeo for Recreation will be April 30th, 6 p.m. at the Stone Post. Please join us.
And we're still accepting sponsors and
Yes.
contributions.
And one, oh, did we do a picture? Okay. And one of my personal favorites, the Asbury Park Boardwalk Rescue, and I think Debbie's here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie. I know Debbie's going to say something because she's probably the only one in the room that's known Joey longer than me.
I've known him since I was 13 probably, so that's 52 years ago. I just want to thank my very dear friend Joe Pilato. You're my hero, Joe. You're persevering. You stand there with everybody, and you're going through a lot right now, but we love you. Our prayers are with you. And thank you to the Fishing Club, too. The all my little animals will really love this. Thank you.
Next up is Kevin for the Asbury Park Firemen's Fund.
I'd like to pass on our thanks to the son. I want to pass on our thanks to Joe and the fishing club. I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but every year, the fishing club, they give out these checks back to the community. And every year the mayor wears his fishing club hat. I just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, and every year we change colors, so it's a blue jacket that matches.
Thank you very much, Joe. This money goes into the Asbury Park Firefighters Local 384 Charitable Trust Fund, and every nickel of this money goes right back into the community. So thank you very much.
So the Asbury Park Toy Drive,
We have two.
with 2 checks in the Asbury Park.
One for
The toy drive, the Asbury Park Toy Drive, Christmas in July.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I want to thank Joe and the fishing club. I don't think this is working. Joe and the fishing club, they think about the toy drive and the children every year. I just wanted to thank them again. It's wonderful. Thank you.
And now it's working. So there's an on button that apparently you need to push. So Joey also gives out checks to a wide range of organizations. And I think we should, and you'll probably say this, so I probably don't have to, but he puts these checks out in record time. I mean, like record time.
Yes, the event was Sunday, and he goes home, he counts the gate, and he takes the entire gate and gives it to everybody he can. And again, the attendance was down a little bit this year, but they made up for it. A lot of people don't know Joey Pilato. Joey Pilato is former longtime city employee. Joey Pilato is a living legend, head lifeguard, head everything, just the nicest person in the world. He is going through some rough times right now. So if everybody would keep him in your thoughts, it'd be very nice. And the other people he gives checks to.
Yeah, we got it. So Clean Ocean Action, Fulfill, which is the food bank, SRSA Trout for Kids, Deal Lake Carp Contest, and the American Littoral Society. And we should say that Joey was out this weekend busting balls at the Asbury Park Fishing Club, certainly busting John and mine, and that was great to see him out. And so again, we can't thank him enough for continuing to support Asbury Park, and we are having him in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you.
Great job. So we'll switch out and do League of Women Voters. Hey.
How are you?
It's still on. Give it to me. Well, I'm going to read. Oh, I had to come get the proclamation.
So another one of my favorite organizations, which is the League of Women Voters. Whereas the League of Women Voters is an activist grassroots organization whose leaders believe that voters should play a critical role in democracy, and whereas the League of Women Voters of Monmouth County envisions a democracy that every person has the desire, the right, the knowledge, and the confidence to participate in the democratic
Process. The League believes in the power of women to create a more perfect democracy, and they profoundly take a balanced, nonpartisan, yet educational and enlightening view of issues free of political bias or expression. This organization's passion and zeal to ensure that voters are equipped with the education and knowledge, as well as the access and tools needed to make informed decisions regarding the democratic process, is upheld throughout their education fund. And whereas the theme of the 2020 National Women's History Month, Valiant Women of the Vote, is a testament and salute to the power and magnitude of all the women past, present, and future to affect policy and impact the world by exercising their democratic right. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Moore and the Asbury Park City Council deem it during Women's History Month 2020 to acknowledge and thank the League of Women Voters of Monmouth County for their dedication, advocacy, support, and democratic process and the rights of our community members. It's not really not.
I just want to thank Asbury Park and the council for this honor. And just mention that it's 100 years since the ratification of the 19th Amendment, and it's 100 years since the start of the League of Women Voters. No accident, because it was the same feisty, unstoppable, undaunted women who got the vote, who started the League of Women Voters, and we appreciate our collaboration with Asbury Park over the years. We've done countless forums done the ballot issue explanations, always nonpartisan, always reliable, and we allow men to join us. So we welcome you all. Thank
So
you so
maybe
much.
just come in for a picture?
Come in,
Yeah, come in a little bit.
come in, Dallas. Okay.
So, thank you so much. And just so everyone knows, the city is acknowledging the League of Women Voters, obviously for Women's History Month. And our next council meeting, we are acknowledging some outstanding Asbury Park High School girls for Women's History Month. So kudos to the League of Women Voters. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. I shake your hands, but you know.
Yeah, we can.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, I put that there. Sit up. Yeah. Yeah.
Before we go on, I forgot to say it, and Joey will yell at me and hit me. Just so everybody knows, Asbury Park Fishing Club is the oldest saltwater fishing club in the United States, 1902. John's trivia for the day. Thank you.
We're on to item B, city manager's report on issues raised at prior council meeting.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. And item C, special event applications.
First application before you is for the Asbury Park Rosé Festival to be held on September 6th. New Jersey Medical Marijuana Patients Festival on September 12th. The Polar Bear Races on December 27th. Siren Arts on July 9th through August 20th. Kicking Kids Cancer, September 26th. The Haitian Heritage Celebration on May 16th. Asbury Park Bear Weekend, August 15th. Pride in the Park, October 3rd. City's annual Easter pageant on April 12th. 10th Annual Family Day to be held at Prospect Courts. And the Bond Street 10th Birthday Block Party on June 20th. Are there any questions on the applications?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
On to item D, energy savings improvement program. Dawn Zimmer.
Hi, how are you? So thank you so much for having me, Mayor Moore and Deputy Mayor Quinn and council members. Really appreciate this this opportunity. I guess I need to speak into the. So that's all. So yeah, I'm here with my regional manager, Weston Ernst from Schneider Electric. Again, really appreciate this opportunity, and I know everyone is extremely busy right now, and so we just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about the energy savings improvement program that I think could be an opportunity for Asbury Park. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I was the mayor of Hoboken from 2009 to 2017. During that time, I had the experience of taking Hoboken through Superstorm Sandy, and really had a big impact on me as far as looking at the impact of energy and the importance of reliable energy, and also trying to reduce that impact of climate change. And so that's when I made the decision not to run for re-election and decided to work for Schneider, because they're a company that's really committed. One of their core values is really trying to make sure that people around the world have access to reliable energy, and they're making a big impact. So proud to be here working with them. So I wanted to share with you, again, a little bit about the Energy Savings Improvement Program. It's a state program that not a lot of municipalities are using, and it is a terrific opportunity. And We have had an opportunity to look at your wastewater facility, and we think there's other opportunities with some of your other municipal facilities. But from my perspective, as a former mayor, I think there's kind of I see sort of three major benefits to looking at this program. One is the opportunity to leverage your energy savings. It's also an opportunity to do business in a different way, where you have one point of responsibility for your projects. And it's just another tool in the toolbox, and I think an important tool to really move towards your sustainability goals. So I'm actually going to be taking from Sustainable Jersey. I know it's an organization that you've worked with. I understand that you were the first in Monmouth County to get your silver certification, which is terrific. Clearly, you're very committed to sustainability. And they're a third-party organization that I think does a great job helping New Jersey to be more sustainable, and they support the Energy Savings Improvement Program. So I think they have a kind of a really useful graph here that just shows you, when I say leveraging energy savings. So if you look on the left, that large black bar is the utility bills before you do an energy savings improvement program. And what we do as a company, come in and help you to evaluate all the different opportunities to save energy. So we're reducing your utility bill and then using those savings over a 15 or possibly a 20-year period to finance the upgrades, and then potentially producing positive cash flow going forward that maybe you could use for additional sustainability projects. So again, leveraging energy savings. What I just want to talk to you about an example of what that means. So Delran Township School District is a project that we did that actually Sustainable Jersey highlights as kind of a model project working with the school. So we came in and we looked at all of their facilities, finding that they could do heat pumps, they could look at their solar power purchase agreement, looking at the building envelope, really looking at every single opportunity throughout their facilities and the overall financial impact for them. So we found annual savings of almost $300,000. We also look at all of the incentives that the state offers and add that into the project. And so for them, it was a total project cost of $4.5 million that was funded through the Energy Savings Improvement Program and not by the taxpayers. So we also think, they did solar, and we think looking at your wastewater treatment facility, there's an opportunity to put solar on top of the wastewater treatment facility, potentially combine that with other facilities and do what's called a power purchase agreement, which is something we have a lot of experience with. So the value for Delran was, again, the $4.5 million in capital improvements with no increase to the budget, improving the learning environment. So for Asbury Park, it could be improving the work environment and really, expanding the sustainability for the community. So I just wanted to show, this is, and hopefully it comes in. Maybe not. Is the video there, Mike? Do you know? I was. It's a quick little video to show you.
Looks like it's not playing.
Okay.
It's just an image.
Okay, I don't know. Well, it was. Well, it wasn't. There was a video. There's a video of which I can send you afterwards. But Delran talking about how this project has really benefited them, and it's been a benefit for their community and for their students. So I also want to talk a little bit about what do I mean by one point of responsibility. So really to share as an example of that. Traditionally, the way projects are usually bid out, you have an engineering firm that designs a project and then someone that installs the project. So in Hoboken, we did an HVAC project for our police station and for our senior center. So an engineering firm designed it and then somebody else installed it. And the challenge when you have kind of two different entities working on that project, problems can happen. And so for us, literally that system, we spent almost $4 million and the system did not work for the police station or for the senior center. So with the ESIP project, it's a different approach where a company like Schneider, we take full responsibility for the project all the way through, from the design, and there's a collaborative design process, and at the end of the day, there are actually no change orders. We get to what the final project will be and move forward with the project. So it's a different way of doing business. It's all kind of managed under the Board of Public Utilities, but it's something that definitely I think is a potential benefit for communities to consider. So just walking you through this is just kind of gives an overview of the ESIP project, and it's really a decision to move and doing business in a different way and deciding on who your partner would be. So it starts with doing a local government energy audit, which Asbury Park has done. And, then there's a kind of a stakeholder process and doing workshops. And what we do is we come in and we do a business case. So again, we have started looking at the potential for your wastewater treatment facility, and we can come in and look at the rest of your facilities and help you determine what are those opportunities. So it's something where we do the business case, we take on that responsibility, and there's no risk and no cost for the city. We just need to know that you're interested in moving in that direction before we can move forward with completing the business case. But so that business case gets completed, and then the city can make a decision. Okay, we really are interested. Maybe decide you're not, but hopefully you would decide you're interested in moving forward. And then you do a formal RFP process where you go out and request proposals, and we hope that Schneider would be considered, but we obviously recognize that it's a competitive process, and you would ultimately make what you think is the best choice for Asbury Park. And then once you make that choice, and it really is about choosing who you think will be the best partner to move forward with the project. Then what's called an investment grade audit gets completed, and at the end of that, you're looking at the incentives, you're looking at all of the potential opportunities for energy savings, you're also looking at the funding options through that process, and you get to what the final project would be. And then that, when you move into the construction agreement, it's the final IGA that really sets what the construction agreement would be. And then you move towards implementation. And then there's a measurement and verification where we come in and do the training to help make sure that your employees, can move the project forward and use the equipment in the way that it should be used. So again, with Asbury Park, we have come in and looked a little bit at your wastewater treatment facility. We think there's opportunities to make some changes to reduce, for example, the number of trucks that are going in and out of the wastewater facility. So to save kind of the challenges for the community is save on transportation costs and disposal costs. We also think there's opportunities around, additional energy savings with what we call a cover on the gravity thickener, which would help to reduce the amount of energy that needs to be used for the air handler. Again, I know, obviously odor is a sensitive point, and you want to make sure that it's running well. And again, we do think that solar is an opportunity at that site as well. So just to, the ESIP process, again, it includes drafting an energy savings plan. I do want to emphasize that energy savings plan is reviewed as part of the state process. It's reviewed by the BPU. There's a third-party entity that reviews that. So there's a checks and balance process. It's not just about what we put forward, but it's also checked by a third party as well. And it includes a review of all of your bills over a 14-month period. And it also, looks at your, part of it is figuring out what your cost structure would be and how you're going to fund it as well. It's also looking at greenhouse gas reductions and how you're going to fund the process. So yeah, and then the process is timed also to look at all of the incentives, and the review includes looking at all of the state incentives that are included. And so we do a very deep dive looking at that and making sure that all of the different programs can benefit your municipality. I do want to emphasize that, again, this is, while you're leveraging the energy savings, it is something that you either need to do it through a refunding bond or a lease purchase agreement. Our team can help you with looking and deciding. Obviously, the city would need to make a decision what you think is the most cost-effective approach. So you are taking on debt, but that debt is funded through the energy savings that you would be guaranteed to do through the project. So again, just showing you again those bills, it's looking at those utility bills, reducing those utility bills, and then that payment over 15 or possibly a 20-year period, if you do combined heat and power, would fund all of the upgrades. And so also just want to mention that Sustainable Jersey has a great how-to guide on their website with a lot more information if you wanted to look at that. And, so finally, I'll just, this is, again, the ESIP approach. And so we would be very interested if the city is interested in moving forward, continuing our evaluation of the wastewater facility, helping you to look at your other facilities, helping you look at the potential for solar. Again, our team, we have a lot of expertise in the solar market, so we can do things like go out and sort of talk to the market, get quotes before you actually have to go through the process of determining, power, going through all of the procedures around doing, for example, a solar power purchase agreement. We could figure out whether, the number of sites that you have would make it feasible to combine in. So we think there's tremendous opportunity. Obviously, Asbury Park is a terrific community, and we would, very committed to sustainability, very committed to fiscal responsibility, and we'd love to work with you going forward. And so hope you'll consider, moving forward with a business case. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions?
I have nothing.
I asked mine when we met.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I could just say, this started as an impetus to help fund the repairs needed at the wastewater treatment plant. But having spoken with Dawn, there's some other opportunities that we can probably use down the line. But initially, we'll focus on repairing our wastewater treatment plant at a cost savings that we would realize that from our energy savings. So that's the whole point of this. So what our next step would be, if the council's in favor, is we would give them a letter of intent to have them move forward. And then from that place, we would go out into an RFP out to the market. So
And we see a lot of cost savings in the sewer plant that we could.
Yeah, so, some of the examples, and I've learned way much more than I've ever wanted to learn about wastewater treatment plants, but think about an air conditioning running 24/7, 365. That's what parts of our sewer plant do right now. By implementing these savings, we will have newer equipment put in there that will not have that air conditioning running all the time. Also with the gravity thickener and all these other things that we learned about. So there's a lot of opportunity for energy savings and cost savings that we can work with this program.
The numbers and the reductions of the trucks is astronomical.
Yeah.
So
there could be a substantial.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, so it's a we're basically asking in order to, we come in, we would put in a lot of additional resources, and we really just want to know that the city is interested in the concept of moving forward, and that's really all it is. It's we take on the financial, paying for all of the resources to do the additional evaluation, but we just want to know, it is a different way of doing business. It's a different approach. It's a different program. And we just want to know that there's interest in exploring. And again, with the, so it's, from my perspective, it's kind of like an opportunity for the city to get a second opinion, right? So a second opinion that's complimentary from, a company like Schneider. And then you can make the decision if you want to move forward. But as far as the wastewater, we see, potentially changing the way the pumping system works. So it's kind of like right now when everything comes in, it's like the lights are on full blast 24/7, and it doesn't necessarily need to be that way. And there's different ways that you can time it. There's different things that could be done to make sure that it's totally safe for all of the employees and odor control. And we do think that there's some really good opportunities to both save and save on funding, save on energy costs, and then fund those infrastructures.
So what's the process of a letter of intent? What is it, a resolution?
We could prepare one and sign it. We can do a resolution at the next meeting. Yeah, at the next meeting, we'll do a resolution.
Okay.
And we'll get it out to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Let
Thank you
me
very
just
much.
say, since we're giving a lot of awards tonight, I've got to pay you due credit. Snyder's gain was Hoboken's loss. Mayor Zimmer was the mayor of Hoboken during Sandy and after Sandy, and the job that she did there was unbelievable to get that city back up and running as quick as possible. And so, I'm sorry you got out of politics, but I'm glad you got into something that's going to save us money. But again, you did a fantastic job with Hoboken.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Look forward to working with you. Great. Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
So Jay from T&M cannot join us this evening. So this is Gail. Yes. And she is going to be working with Jay, and she has some expertise in this area. So I just want to introduce her and say welcome. And
Gail Lala from T&M Associates. I'm a client manager, so I work collaboratively with T&M on all practice areas, including water, transportation, municipal, and I have a background in resiliency planning, so I have the fortune of working with Honorable Don Zimmer, actually, for post-Sandy planning initiatives and help to orchestrate an ESIP for Hudson County, which is currently being constructed. So I look forward to working with Jay on if you have any questions on the formulation of the next steps. For instance, there's a grant opportunity to include a critical mass of facilities in addition to the wastewater facility. So we can help vet if your local government energy audits included all of the necessary critical facilities that could go into a more robust project.
well, welcome. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to say Christine Ballard is no longer with T&M, but everybody knows Christine Ballard. Her life that she wanted to go into was water, sewer plants, everything. So as much as Donna didn't like the sewer plant, Christine loved the sewer plant.
I did not like it.
And it was because of Christine knowing the Snyder Group, bringing them down and showing us the potential. And they did a lot of work at their own cost before they even came before a small committee, be it Donna, Michael, myself, another council person, to make the opening presentation. So we're glad everybody's on board, and it sounds like a win-win for all. Unfortunately, you may do all the work. We could go out for an RFP, and it could be the low bidder. So, but we appreciate you doing this. Okay, thank you.
We're on to item E, items to be presented by Michael Manzella, Director of Transportation. Item 1, electric vehicle charging station update.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to provide everyone with an update of the EV charging station program. As you are well aware, we did launch the first set of charging stations on Madison Avenue in September. And as you're also aware, the program involved a phase 2 with 2 more locations in the city. And Green Spot would really like to move forward with phase 2 at this point. Those 2 locations, there's one on Springwood Avenue. Well, there'll be 2 dual port charging stations, and then another set of charging stations, 3 dual power charging stations in the waterfront. And initially, when we first scoped out the program and we looked at where the charging stations should go, we adopted an ordinance designated where those charging spaces should be. And the location that we all collectively came to was 6 parking spaces on the north side of Sunset Lake, on the south side of Sunset Avenue, at the intersection with Webb Street. Green Spot has done their due diligence in terms of what it would take to bring electric to that area, and the cost is really prohibitive for them, as there is no electrical service even within that area or a transformer nearby. So they're asking the council to consider some other locations. We did a little bit of scouting of the area to determine where there is a transformer nearby, where electricity already exists, so to kind of minimize the cost to them, and then what that would do would speed up the process in which we would get revenue share. So what they're proposing is they would like to keep all 6 spaces in one location, but we recognize that the waterfront is already very difficult for parking. So that was kind of a non-starter for us in our discussions. But what they would consider is two different, splitting it into two locations. So what we're proposing is 4 spaces right across from the Asbury Hotel and 2 spaces across from the other hotel. And the idea would be that, these would be
When you say the other hotel, Berkeley?
the Asbury Ocean Club
Asbury.
on 4th Avenue. And the idea would be that, for visitors coming into town who have electric vehicles, there's a place for them to charge up. And obviously, if they're staying overnight at the hotel, that might even entice them even more to come to Asbury Park. So that's the proposal right now, and I was just looking for some feedback. And, if the council finds this favorable, then the next step is we do have to amend the ordinance to officially adopt the new locations.
So it's 4 spots each, Mike?
4 and 2.
4 and 2.
Yeah, rather than having 6 in one bank, we wanted to split it up so we're not taking up so many parking places at the same time.
And the other part is when they do phase 2, and we have now 3 separate areas of the city that are online, it's much easier for them to bring in a car share vendor, because right now,
That was going to be my next.
sure,
what's going on with
right
the
now
car share?
we only have the one location, and it's not really, they're not getting any bites in terms of a car share vendor wanting to come in. They want to have them in a couple different locations in the city. So once we have those couple different locations put out, they'll have a car share vendor ready to go at launch. So
When are they going to start the Springwood Avenue?
they have started the design on that. So that's
Okay.
construction starting pretty
Can
soon.
you get us, and no hurry, can you get us some numbers on Madison Avenue? Because
Sure.
every time I go by there looking for a parking spot, nothing's parked there. It's like, oh, should we maybe change it where it's only certain hours? And then, I don't know. It's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Because
It's tough with the regulation. I mean, obviously we are, it's a little bit of chicken and the egg with electric cars, right? If there's no place in the state to charge the cars, then no one will buy them, right? But as soon as people start buying them, we're going to have to provide opportunities for people to charge to make it enticing to come to visit the city. So and live in the city. So we are sort of future-proofing a little bit. We're a little bit ahead of the game, although, obviously the governor has put out an ambitious plan to have 300,000 electric vehicles on the road in 5 years. So they're coming. The demand continues to grow. So I think that we'll see those spaces filled up more. I do have the data. I will tell you, on average, it's probably about 1 charging session per space that we have out there per day.
okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually see people, maybe you and I are going there different times, but I'm going to say if I'm out having dinner, I usually see a car there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, the number you just gave me is fantastic. Okay. I go out to eat early. Good.
Okay.
And it's, the bottom line is it's 6 spots in the waterfront. So
Right.
wherever they are, we're losing 6 spots. So if it's easier for them and cheaper for them, and they're across from the hotels, it makes more sense than where they were on Sunset Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
On to item F, review of agenda items for the March 11th regular meeting.
Okay, on the agenda this evening, we have our minutes from the executive session of February 26th, and our work session and our regular meeting. On the consent, we have our special event applications, our sustainable land use pledge, and a grant application for our drunk driving or distracted driving grant. Bill list is on the agenda.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm sorry.
please. The 2020-118 Sustainable Land Use Pledge. The 3rd paragraph.
Okay, hold on.
What's regular communication?
Hold on.
With neighboring municipalities.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Third paragraph.
What is the
Regional cooperation through regular communication with neighboring municipalities in manner of land use decisions and when regional impacts.
so what how is that done? What does it mean? And then should we ask since we're being nice to the neighboring community, should we ask them to do the same thing to us? Should that be part of this? I don't care.
Well, I mean, it's kind of, this is kind of like a boilerplate. I mean, that's done now. I mean, I don't know what relationships you have with the neighboring municipalities, but we
They
can
locked the
certainly.
gates on us.
Well, I know that's where you're going, so, we can certainly modify this to add it and amend it for the next meeting if you'd like.
Okay, and then on the flip page, package page 36, the last now therefore, it says all this stuff, but if somebody interpreted this, they could say, well, you passed this thing and you're not doing it, so shouldn't the word someplace be in here like, and if affordable?
We could certainly add that, you know, I mean,
We're
but,
gonna do a million things, somebody said, well, Moore, you're up for reelection,
Yeah.
you said you were gonna do all this, you haven't done anything, yeah, because we don't have the money.
sure, but to some, you know, just like the ESIP presentation, that would be something that would fall under this pledge. So we are doing things, we can certainly add that, you know, with funding approved.
Right, but it's, so this is covering A to Z as far as a sustainable land use plan. So
We can pull it and amend it and add those language, that's fine.
fine, if you just want to write it in now, we can pass it tonight, whatever you want to do.
Fred, okay with that?
Absolutely. We could take out the regular communication and maybe the word, the wording so that it says City of Asbury Park pledges regional cooperation with neighboring municipalities.
Okay.
And then after the now therefore clause, where it says when feasible, we could insert and affordable.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, amending our temporary budget. We hope to introduce our budget at our next meeting, so we won't have to be doing that anymore. CDBG, HVAC at the Community Affairs Resource Center. Resolution 2020-123 is amending the contract for services for the Heck Street project that's been ongoing. 2020-124. This is for the design and construction of our citywide wayfinding signage within the Transit Village. This has been something that has been ongoing for several months, and we're finally at a place that we can award the contract for the design. 2020-125 is the awarding of a contract for the boiler replacement at the wastewater treatment plant. Again, that's been something that's been hanging around for a while. 126 is putting cameras down at our DPW site. 2127 is CDBG for the HVAC unit for the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth. 2128 is a subsequent redeveloper agreement for 7th Avenue, 202 7th Avenue. 2021-29 is having the agreement referred to the planning board. 2020-130 is appointing members to the planning board, class 4, and 2020-131 is appointing members to the zoning board of adjustment. 20-5 ordinance introduction is changing the hours of parking on certain streets. 20-26 is amending the code regarding parking and the duration of parking on the street.
What is that again?
That was the time, right, Michael? So the limit of time on the street that we have now, the 2 hours.
So I apologize. Go back to 2020-5.
20. That one was.
Watching the zoning board on APTV, it seems like part of the problem with this was like, the zoning board passed a resolution, but nobody put up the signs. So was that DPW or was that who was supposed to put up the signs? And no big deal, that's in the past, but if we're gonna change this, let's make sure the signs.
And that's why we're doing it this way.
Okay, let's make sure the signs go up this time.
It was a little bit of a separate issue. So the zoning board resolution had 2 drop-off zones for the school. For whatever reason, when this came before council, it was a little more than a year ago, only 1 drop-off zone was included in that ordinance. So this is putting that second drop-off zone in to relieve some of the issues that are going on 3rd Avenue.
And that'll be on Grand Avenue, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that'll be on Grand Avenue.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, and the last ordinance, which I'll talk about,
Then wait a second.
Oh, sorry.
2020-6. So this just makes it easier to tow abandoned vehicles.
It defines the time.
Makes it clearer.
It was unclear in the ordinance already about what the time frame was for abandoned vehicles.
Okay.
Just trying to clean it up a bit. 2020-7 is an ordinance creating a new chapter in our code called Identification Card Program, which I'll speak about under my time.
On to item G, matters from the city council.
So I'd just like to remind people that there will be a Deal Lake cleanup on Saturday, March 28th from 9 till noon. Anyone who's interested in helping can meet at the Asbury Park boat ramp on Deal Lake. Supplies will be provided, and any amount of time you can give would be appreciated. For those that will be coming to volunteer, free coffee will be available from Busker Do. That's it.
On Thursday, March 26th, at the Oceans Family Success Center, there's going to be free CPR training, and there will be a pediatrician on hand to answer any and all questions. And that's going to be between 3:30 and 5 o'clock on Thursday, March 26th.
Good. Joseph?
I have nothing at this time.
Asbury Park is hiring seasonal lifeguards, EMT, gate guards, and cashiers. If you are interested, go on our website and apply. The city is also hiring seasonal public works workers. Also go on our website and apply. The season goes from May 15th to September 30th. And I want to give a big shout out to the organizers of the St. Patrick's Day Parade, a few which are here, Garrett and Eileen. I thought you guys did an amazing job. I was not freezing this year, so thank you for getting nice weather. But amazing job with the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
And one heck of a crowd, absolutely. The only thing I have, Saturday, we had scheduled through the Mayor's Wellness Committee, which we won an award for this year. We're having a small basketball tournament at the Boys and Girls Club because of what's going on in the country. We decided to postpone that. We'll announce the new date in the future, but it will happen, but just not this Saturday. So that has been canceled. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. On to item H, matters from the city manager.
Yes, so on our ordinance introduction tonight, 20-7, is the introduction of an identification card program. And this is something that Doug Schultz and I have spoken about for probably a month or so. And due to the current situation with the coronavirus, is something that we like to expedite. And the concept is that we provide IDs for Doug's clients. And his clients are for individuals who may be homeless, may not have a permanent address, but are in need of some type of identification for social service programs, for health care, housing, things like that. So this ordinance will allow Doug to determine identity through various different ways that may or may not be standard when you're trying to get an ID. So for example, if you don't have an address, you don't have any type of ownership to where you can put on your ID card. So what, excuse me. So what Doug will do is he will use other means of identification to confirm identities. For example, if someone may have an arrest record, he will use that arrest record to determine their eligibility and their identification. So this ordinance will allow our residents and non-residents of the city to have access to services that they would not normally have. And we've kind of expedited it due to the situation. We would have liked to have done a presentation, but due to the current nature, we wanted to get this on an agenda for tonight. It's not a government-issued ID. It's just going to be a very basic ID card with a picture and Doug's signature saying, I identify this person as John Smith. Any questions?
No, but since we want to speed this through, so when you introduce it, put the second reading at the March 25th meeting, and don't skip a meeting.
March 25th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have. And then I'll talk about our coronavirus at our 7 o'clock meeting, Mayor?
Mhm.
Okay.
Fred?
Nothing at this time.
Well, we'll take a short recess, and the regular meeting will begin at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here.
Councilmember Kendall?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Here.
Mayor Moore?
Here.
Please stand for a moment of reflection, a silent prayer.
Before we go any further, I have an announcement. Our city clerk, Cindy Dye, passed away last night. So as we're doing this moment of silent prayer, if everybody could just think of her and say a prayer for her and her family, be deeply appreciated. Thank you.
We will now salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 7, 2020, and posted on the bulletin board the same date. All notices are on file with the city clerk.
Before we go to the public session, I'm sorry, Carrie. Everybody knows what's going on in the world with the coronavirus. The city has been on every call with the county, every call with the state, the city manager, Michael, police chief, fire chief, every department. Garrett Giverson is the OEM director. So because of this is going on, because we know this will reach all the TVs, the city manager, with help if she needs it, is going to make a short presentation of what's going on and what the city is doing.
Thank you, Mayor. And Garrett, if you want to come up and join us, this is Garrett Giverson. He's our OEM director. So this morning, we had a meeting, OEM meeting, to discuss the steps that the city is taking during this critical time. For the past few weeks, we've been working with our first responders, fire, EMS, to ensure that they have what they need to be prepared should an occurrence happen here in our town. We, as the mayor said, we've been on many phone calls. We've been working with other agencies within the community to ensure that they're aware of what they need to do. Some of the outreach we've done through our social services department, and these slides, I'm not reading these are just more for the TV, for those that are home that don't have access to a computer. So this will be on our website, and these are just the preparations, hand washing and all that. I'm not going to go into that. I want to tell you all what we've been doing. So we had some flyers handed out at our train station to advise those residents that may not have access to a computer, radio, TV, to understand what's going on. We've begun a very aggressive disinfection program for all of our city facilities, including the transportation center, our public works, and this building here. Our fire department, we actually, prior to this, and it gets some foresight on Chief Ketty, we're in the process of purchasing a disinfection system, which we will utilize on all the ambulances each time that they go out. And we're also have been able to purchase some masks and some other Tyvek suits in the event an outbreak does occur here. So at this point, we're not stopping any of the normal day-to-day city services. We're all here, we're all prepared to assist should we need to. We are going to have some limited activity at our senior center because that is the most critical population that's become infected. So there have been some programs that we've canceled for them, but we're not closing the senior center down at this point because that's still a place to come and meet and educate our seniors. Other than that, we're just being vigilant here as employees. We're going to continue with our disinfection procedures and make sure that our first responders and city staff are prepared to continue with our essential services should something occur. The best advice I would give you is to go onto the CDC website, which is up here, cdc.gov, and that's the most comprehensive of what you need to do at home to be prepared if you want to buy some food, if you want to have some water. No one has answers, and that's why we're all kind of in flux right now, but we're we're ready here in the city should something occur. And should something occur here, it will come down from either the county or federal level as to what we would do. So we would never declare a state of emergency in the city of Asbury because it's not a local response. It would be a response that is dictated by the governor or something like that. So business as usual. If you have any questions, feel free to call myself, call Garrett, call Michael. We're here to assist you, and just be vigilant and be safe. And Garrett, if you have anything you want to add?
Just to add that also we had in our meeting this morning that the Board of Education was also involved, and they're being very diligent as far as sanitizing, and so is the Housing Authority. So all the players in the city have been involved. We've been in contact, as the city manager has said, on numerous conference calls with state and county officials. So we are monitoring, and we will disseminate the information as it comes to us as needed.
Fantastic job, and thank you both very much. And Amy, thank you for being on all the calls when I can't be on them. Eileen, thank you for being there. Jesse, Yvonne, employees, thank you. It's kind of like the unknown, so we're all taking it one day at a time. As soon as we get anything or learn anything, we will share it with the public. We're not hiding anything. We'll do our best. Isn't there a county number that we can give out if somebody wanted to call?
Yeah, that's on our website, and we also have it in this slide presentation. The county is our health department, so their information is on our website under the health department. And we'll be on a call with them tomorrow morning, I believe. We have another call at 10 o'clock with them. So, every day we have updates from certain agencies, and they're all saying the same thing: just be vigilant, no hugging, no handshaking, wash your hands. And, if you do have elderly or senior family or friends, just check in on them and make sure that they're safe and not out and about.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Garrett.
You bet. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to enter into the public participation portion of the meeting?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and each speaker will have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Carrie Butch. I live at 500 Deer Lake Drive. And I just wanted to know if you guys knew when the first women's convention happened. What year? The winner is here, and the first women's convention was held in Asbury Park by the League of Women Voters. So I appreciate you guys giving a proclamation, and I wanted to give, since you are honoring the League of Women Voters, I wanted to give you guys just a snapshot of what happened in Asbury Park. I only had an hour to research it, but on May 10th in 1936, the League of Women Voters had a convention and discussed the public welfare problems to be sifted at Convention of New Jersey Women Voters. Okay, so that's one thing that happened. They also talked about how they were having skits by members of the League of Women Voters of the New Jersey College of Women, which is now Douglas. Okay, May 16th, 1937, Asbury Park hosts women voters. New Jersey League sessions opening Wednesday offer a wide range of topics. I better hurry up. Economic, social, and educational problems will be the chief topics for discussion at the 17th Annual League of Women Voters of New Jersey at the Hotel Monterey in Asbury Park. On Thursday afternoon, the Heightstown Cooperative Project will be explained by the Women in Industry Committee after a fashion show and tea. Parole, its place in a protective social program. November 28th, 1937, the New Jersey League of Women Voters meets on world issues in Asbury Park. Merging currents in world events. April 30th, 1939, the New Jersey League rallies at the shore this week. Facing issues of democracy is a women's voter topic. More than ever before, we are challenged as citizens to continue our interest in government. That night, they talk about the ACLU will make a presentation called, "How Shall We Meet the Attack on Democracy?" Okay, I gotta hurry up. This is the September 29th, 1940. Who was the keynote speaker in Asbury Park?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Mrs. Carrie Chapman Catt, the absolute founder of the League of Women Voters. So thank you for acknowledging us. Whenever I represent the League of Women Voters, I always felt like I was standing on the shoulders of giants. So again, I appreciate the city of Asbury Park, the mayor and council for recognizing that.
Thank you very much.
And you didn't even mention that you worked for the League of Women Voters for 8 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Under the first African-American president of the League of Women Voters, and I was the first openly gay person. It was predominantly white organization. We now have a diversity and equity initiative, which I am a part of. And we featured her town in our
Teresa Jones, Hill Drive in Neptune. I commend you for addressing the coronavirus. However, that's a standard public health procedure and policy. Unfortunately, we've been very lax over the past few years. Every couple of years, we have outbreaks, SARS, MERS, H1N1. And to date, many don't know, 18,000 plus people as of the beginning of this month have died from influenza A and B. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Chill out. Stop the panic. Stop the hyper craziness. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth. That's it. Whether it's corona, bird, whoever. Okay? It's flu, it's influenza's been killing people since the beginning of time. Number 2, on the ID ordinance that's being proposed, I would suggest that you decrease the fees. $10 is quite a bit to our homeless families and individuals. Mentally ill for any number of reasons, substance abuse, homelessness, poverty, severe poverty. $10 is a bit, $5 is much. I would recommend maybe $5 for adult, none for children. And then continue and keep your fee waivers in there. My question also, have there been any consideration looking for charger spaces on the west side? Because I'm sick of everything being the east side of Asbury Park. This tale of two cities has to stop.
There are some.
Where?
So as part of the phase 2 presentation I made, the Springwood Avenue is already approved.
It's being designed.
That's being constructed soon.
And then you got Springwood Avenue, but you also got Asbury Park and other areas. Sure. Okay?
We would love to do more.
Okay, but everybody seems to be able to do something on that east side and beachfront. Let's cut it out now. The tale of two cities is not looking good, guys. Okay.
Thank you, Teresa.
Hi. You all know me. I'm Diane Raver, the founder of the Garden State Film Festival, but this is our executive director, Lauren Konkar-Sheehy, and we are here to tell you that the show is going on as planned. So we're taking all of your advice. We're working with the venues to help cleanliness, etc. But the show is going on, and as far as we know, everybody's coming, except sadly my 96-year-old mother who had to decline reading in the script reading because she's 96. But tonight, you can help us by taking some of our marketing materials, telling your friends to come out to Spite, and everybody who's here gets a free screening ticket from me as a gift to please help come out and show your support because we want to be here many, many more years.
And we just thank you to everybody. Thank you for all you're doing with the COVID-19, Corona. And we really appreciate everybody being here, and the film festival is going on unless told otherwise by the governor. And if anybody has any questions, we have marketing materials you can take. If you want help with the schedule and anything, you can email us and we answer every single question. It's March 25th to the 29th, so we're here Wednesday through Sunday. And we have 8 venues, 240 films from over 20 countries. It starts 10 in the morning until 11 p.m. at night. We have different things on different days. Wednesday, we have Full Metal Jacket screening at the Jersey Shore Art Center. What time is it? Thursday, we have a Tarantino film at the Paramount. But at 6 p.m. on Thursday, we have a cocktail reception followed by trailers from 7 to 7:45. And then the Tarantino film is 8 to 10:30 p.m. Then on Friday, the 27th, we're in the convention hall for the giant cocktail gala party, which is open to the public from 7 to 8:30. Then we go into the Paramount Theater for Team Marco that was shot in Staten Island. And we do have New Jersey actors in that as well as national actors. Saturday and Sunday. Oh, on Friday during the day, we added something. Because we have people that come on Thursday and they stay over. We fill up all the hotels here. We added 2 panels on Friday during the day. From noon to 1 is a SAG-AFTRA panel, if anybody who's an actor that wants to get involved. And then from 2 to 3 p.m., we have the New Jersey Film, Motion Picture, and Television Commission doing a panel about the New Jersey tax incentive, about why the heck that's important and why it's so important to have film in New Jersey.
And where do we present this?
We present all over town, not just in one spot. You know what I'm saying? All over town. And we provide free shuttle service with the Jitney. Every single one of our venues is ADA compliant, and the Jitney is ADA compliant. And if you are wheelchair bound, you and your aide or helper get in for free. And we've been that way for all 18 years. And at the Senior Center, we have a specific block that every single thing is subtitled. So for our hearing impaired friends, you can go there and it's really fun. And time's up.
Fantastic, and it's a great event, but wait 1 second. Why don't you just, because this will be on APTV, why don't you just give your website so everybody can, in case people have questions like Rita had, they can get it off your website.
Our website is gsff.org. It's G for garden, S for state, F for film, F for festival.org.
Thank you.
Business, and we put some of our marketing materials around, we'd be forever grateful.
I will be wherever Linda Hamilton is.
Okay, next.
Hi, Ernest McNolly, 400 Deal Lake Drive, apartment 5D, the Santander. I would hope maybe in the future I'll get treated like some people do here. I notice people go over and they're not told they're going to be removed by the police, but if I go 1 second over, I'm going to get arrested. Hello? So anyway, I have some documents I want to give to the city attorney. They're from actually the prosecutor and the state of New Jersey. They're what's known as the Victim Bill of Rights. It's very, very important. Now, I'm a victim twice in Asbury of violent crime. And what these guidelines are guidelines that the police in your city and the prosecutor must follow with victims. Now, I don't know if you know, but there are a lot of people in Asbury that believe that the police don't follow this, and even sometimes in conjunction with the Asbury police, the prosecutor doesn't follow through. So I made some copies that I'd like to give to the city attorney. Can I do that, Mr. City Attorney?
Why don't you use your time so you don't waste time walking back and forth?
Well,
and do
this
it
is
after.
important. I don't mind walking.
Okay, come on, waste your time. Thank you, I love it.
That's okay. I don't think anyone listens to me anyway. Thank you. And then further to that, I come up here and I often say, like, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Why? Because I live here. I live here, I follow police matters, fire matters, city matters, all kinds of matters. And then when I come to the meeting, I feel like I'm in Disney World. Like, what's the disconnection between what's really going on here and what these meetings seem like? And what do I mean? How many people know, and why was it kept out of the paper, all the stuff that went on at the high school? I mean, guns getting through security, students with guns and bullets. I mean, 8 days it took. I found out about it the second day, and it took me almost 5 days before a news press organization would run it in the paper, and that was the Asbury Park Press. Why would it take 7 days? And then why are statements come out that there's no danger? Everybody knows when gangs in schools are at each other with guns, the opposing side also brings guns. And then why don't we find out anything from Nixle? The only thing on Asbury Park Police Nixle, of which Sergeant Casey is in charge of, not just the press releases, he's the PIO, the Public Information Officer. So press like myself, when we want to talk to him, he's not available. But then we have Nixle. Nixle, if you look at the last year of Asbury Park Police. I think you're meteorologists. All they talk about is, there's a cold breeze coming today, there's a flood, it's like a meteorologist website. That's for crime, to let people know where there's active shooters. And I also want to give you this. Okay.
Can I give you one more, sir?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Dave Morton, 917 Fifth Avenue, Asbury. Hope I don't get in trouble by trying to correct Sister Jones, but based on the CDA report, this virus is 10 times more lethal than the regular influenza flu that's going around. So I'd like to know, what is your trigger, if you will, for shutting it down? We're going to have a lot of folks in here. We're going to have a lot of folks coming in from New York where the virus is significant. I have a sister-in-law out in Seattle, Washington. She's telling me that it is serious. So I think we need to start taking it very serious. It's going to happen quick. We're going to have a lot of folks in here, and we're going to be everywhere. Once it happens, I don't know, but I would assume that Jersey Shore, Monmouth, Red Bank hospitals probably will not be able to hold all the people that are going to be sick when they come down this summer, if it lasts the period that they're anticipating that it's going to last. Folks, please get real serious, put something together so that we know when we're going to shut it down.
Donna, do you want to reply?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, whatever response that will occur is going to come down from probably the federal or state level. For example, the state of New York, I believe in Rochester, has put a mandatory limit on gatherings of up to 250. That's a state mandate. That's not something we can do locally. So we will follow the guidance of our state and our county and our federal agencies, but we are certainly prepared here to handle if and when it does occur here. We've also reached out to New Jersey Transit about the transportation center, and you make a good point about our train station. So we have called them. We have not heard back from them yet as to what we will do with the train station. However, we're disinfecting it every day, and we're being vigilant regarding the loitering that occurs in there. We're having our police officers move them in and out. And all we can do is be vigilant at this point. But we are concerned. Our mayor has family in Seattle, and he's well aware of what's happening out there. So thank you.
And I would also, first responders, you got to get them some protection.
They have
Whatever
it.
protection they need,
have
they
it.
need to get it.
100%. They have all that they need.
Thank you for your concerns, David. And you very seldom come here, and when you come with good reason, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, Sylvia, Director of the Chamber of Commerce. First, I'm so sorry about Cindy. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Secondly, Diane, I'm so happy to see you and Lauren here, and just something about the Garden State Film Festival that kind of ties into one of the earlier speakers. They do a block over in the Senior Center on Springwood Avenue, which is really cool. So I thank you for doing that because it's right above my office, and that's the one I host. So I'm glad that you guys are still on, but also being vigilant and cautious if you don't continue. Thank you for honoring the League of Women Voters. When Dallas was receiving the resolution, she mentioned that it's not just for women, it's also men that can join. So while I've been a member for like 10 years, my big firefighter, truck driver husband is also a member of the League of Women Voters for probably the last 8 years. It's an important organization, so thank you for honoring them. What I really wanted to talk about, you mentioned during the work session, was the Asbury Park St. Patrick's Day Parade, and I wanted to thank Garrett and Sammy and Councilwoman Chapman and Judy Yacarino and their whole team for all the work they did executing that event. Matt and I help out with the event, doing the logistics for it, and we have a float in it, and Matt is the float because he has a band and his band plays because I'm not creative enough to build anything. But I spend the whole day running up and down and making sure that things are going smoothly and well, and I spoke to all of the officers, and it was a magnificent crowd, a beautiful day. It's a very family-friendly and fun day. It steps off at 1. It ended by 2:35. Our police, EMT, DPW, fire, as always, did a magnificent job. By 3:30, you couldn't tell there had been a parade here when I drove back through the town. I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but the St. Patrick's Day Parade is also a 501c3. So not only do they bring thousands of people, this was, I think, the biggest crowd ever, to see Asbury Park and everything that's around here, but they also raise funds and support other local organizations. So that's just one thing I wanted to get out there because I'm not really sure everybody knows that, and that's a really cool thing. That's pretty much everything that I have. Thank you all for everything. I think you're doing a terrific job, and I appreciate all the support you've given the Chamber.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Thanks, Sylvia and Matt, for all your hard work on the parade as well.
You guys, I just make sure kids are not getting the candy under the sorry.
And I know John mentioned it, but just speaking for the mayor and council and the entire city staff, we are absolutely heartbroken about Cindy.
Me too. Pam Lamberton, Sunset Avenue. I had 2 questions and 1 statement. My questions are, what is the status of the Human Rights Commission? It seems like it's taking a long time to get together. Number 2, could you explain why the bathrooms on the boardwalk were built on the city's green spaces? I've heard that it was the only property that the city owns, but I scoured the waterfront redevelopment plan and all the amendments. I could not find any place where it says those were to be built on city property. All it says is ISTAR is supposed to build a boardwalk and those facilities, but didn't say where. So I'd like to know how come they ended up in that city in Bradley's Breezeway. And the statement I would like to make, and I'm glad that Mayor Zimmer is still here. Over 10 years ago, I had the pleasure of being the chairman of the Sustainability Committee in Asbury Park, and we did a complete audit of the city, an energy audit of the city. Garrett Giberson Sr. worked on it with me. I think Chief Kenny worked on it also. We did the firehouse, we did the library, we did every single city building. I'm sure I still have a copy of that audit someplace.
We have it. We've looked at it.
Okay. If you have any questions muddling through it, I'm more than happy to help out. If you're turning it over to your now sustainability team, I could tell them anything I know.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Pam, because we are actually intending to use that audit to do this ESET program.
Oh,
so having that is a benefit.
Yeah. It'll save us many months. It'll save us many months of doing another one. So, and we will be reaching out to you.
Okay. And my question?
Yeah, I'll take Human Relations Rights Committee. So we have spent, as you know, every November, the last 2 or 3 Novembers doing these boards, committees, and commissions. So I will be perfectly honest. I have spent my time trying to get zoning and planning. Zoning has been so bad it hasn't had a quorum. So tonight, I believe, and fingers crossed, and I know somebody we're appointing to zoning, which we're very happy about. Tonight is the first night after these appointments that we will have a full zoning and full planning board, and I'm going to tell you about 2 years. So once that's done and applications aren't being adjourned, Sonia put together the responses from the thing that we put out. We'll start our meetings back up and hopefully have one formed. But I want to reiterate again, we do not have many of our current committees full. So So as much as I love the idea of human relations and human rights, and I think it's needed, I also want to make sure the current committees that we have in this town are full. So as of tonight, planning and zoning is full. So it's back on.
Okay. As far as the locations of the bathrooms on the boardwalk, be it the charrettes, all the proposals, that's where they were always indicated to be. So it's not a change in plan, and once the boardwalk and the amenities are done, it's turned over to the city. So it makes sense to put it on city property and not iStar's property, which years ago, the city put the temporary bathroom on iStar's property, ran sewer lines through their properties without even telling them. So yes, they had to go on city property.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not touching the microphone. Rita Morano, 8th Avenue. I was going to talk about that. I want to continue talking about the recreation program because I think it's in dire need of being reviewed and looked at with the special events attached to it. I don't see, I think someone said that the recreation program is for children from the age of 5 to 14. It's not for adults. It was quoted in the Coaster that adults have to have entertainment too, or recreation. I think we're old enough to do our own, but we do have a senior center too. And I think that takes in the adults, most of them. But the younger ones in between have to fetch for themselves. I don't think that we should have to pay to have a recreation program for people that are working and having their own fun wherever they want to go. The other thing is, when you have a recreation program, I looked into a few towns that have it, they get grants, lots of them. There's plenty of them out there for the recreation program. And to have an event like we had a couple of weeks ago, it's just not right. And I think, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think somebody other than the city taxpayer should be paying for it, because you didn't pass a resolution on it. You didn't do anything. It was like silent. First it was for recreation, then it was under administration, and it was nothing. I mean, you had it, and I think most of the bills were paid through administration. Some of them were paid by community block grant, which is, that's really bad when you do something like that. And I think you have to look into that program and revamp it or do whatever you have to do. But somebody should be applying for grants for that program so that the children do have things to do and places to go. I know last year they went to Great Adventure. It was like $12,000. You need a lot of money in the summertime. And you should look into it. And whoever is in charge of it, I haven't figured it out yet, whether the recreation committee or the director is in charge, but they should be applying for all these grants that are available to us. So some of them, we have to pay some of it, but it shouldn't be in the city budget the way it is. And I don't know, do we have any grants in the recreation program? I'd like an answer to that. Uh-oh, okay. Do we?
I can't answer that tonight. If Donna knows the answer, she can answer.
So we apply for grants throughout the year for various programs. I don't know if there's anything specific to recreation that we have, but well, you know, we do have the Mayor's Rodeo, and that's probably our biggest fundraiser for the recreation program that we do. But as far as grants, you know, having only been here a few months, I don't know off the top of my head, but we'll certainly look into it for you.
Well, that's what that girl should be doing up there, is applying for grants.
All right, thanks, Rita.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Louise Murray, Grand Avenue.
Hold on 1 second. Can we keep it down? Okay. Thank you.
I was just looking over these bills, and I just have a question as to whether or not they were going to be ongoing or a one-time, monthly, or if it was just a one-time invoice. On page 48, is that what you want to look at? The street and traffic lighting, there's one for $17,000. And then there's two others, 2350 and 1971. I don't know, can anybody tell me what that $17,000 was for?
What packet page?
48, John.
We'll find.
48.
Well, let me finish and then you can.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Of course, the ones above it, the light, heat, and power miscellaneous, 10,232. That seems a little odd for me. And on page 50, under the beach utility, the water cooler for 5,003. So my question is, are these monthly? Is it just a one-time deal? The water cooler did we purchase that? Do I expect to see this every month? They seem, it just bothered me enough that I need to question it.
Okay, the water cooler with bottle filling, that's a one-time cost.
Oh.
That's something to give, no?
So those are and we actually had a conversation about this. Those are the water coolers that are throughout the city hall.
Why is it being charged under beach utility then? I think that's something.
That's the beach utility
That's
one.
something bought by Granger for the lifeguards and the life stations down there, I believe. We could be wrong. We'll get you the correct information on that because it's charged to the beach utility. It should be for the beach.
No, I'm
front.
sorry. No. What those are water cooling filling stations that we purchased with our green team funding, and they're going to be put up on the boardwalk so people can refill their water bottles without bringing plastic bottles onto the beach. So that's what those are.
That's
Those
a one-time cost.
Yes, a one-time cost to purchase an installation, and it was grant funded. To your question, Rita, about a grant, we got a grant for that.
And then the electric and the gas bills, that's what it costs to run a city and to run buildings.
Yeah, but what we did at our last meeting, we had that reverse energy auction. So what we do is we have it's called a reverse energy auction. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but what we do is we provide our electric bills to a organization who then goes out to the market, and we have a live auction and people bid on our electricity. So we have a savings, I think, about $300,000 that we'll realize in the next 12 months from last year based on this. So those bills you'll see coming up, they should go down once we get on board with our new energy person.
That 17 grand kind of threw me. And by the way, please offer my condolences to Cindy's family.
Thank you.
I'm sure you have her address and everything. Thank you.
But as much as the bills will go down, and if we use the company the mayor was talking about, other bills will go down also, but these will be monthly or quarterly bills. These will not go away.
Yep.
17,000 was a little.
That could be for, as much as it has a number next to it, it says 217, that could be 3 weeks of every light. It's the bulbs over the streets. It's the Cobra lights. It's not just City Hall.
Street lighting.
It's the street lighting.
That one lighting, January 18th to 2/17, that's only a month.
I'm not, sometimes the codes on these are not totally accurate, but these are for street lighting bills.
We'll take
and
a look at it.
Right. And that's why when people complain streets are dark, we're saying, give us those streets and we'll put up lights because JCP&L loves to charge us. So nothing's free, but if we don't want dark streets, so if anybody has any streets, they should report them and we will get more lights out there, but it's something we have to pay for.
And the 10,000 for New Jersey Natural Gas?
I'm guessing that's the gas for this building and maybe the sewer, it could be this building, it could be the sewer plant, it could be DPW, it could be all of them. For the exact number, if you want to call either Don or Joanne to find out what building that is, but yeah, that's to use gas in these buildings.
Okay.
And that's why the report that Pam worked on that we're using, I'm just totally shocked nobody threw it away, Pam. I mean, not because of you, just because of the way City Hall threw things away. I'm shocked we found something. So it worked out good. But
we're trying.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What? Motion to close?
Motion to close?
Yep.
All in favor? Okay. We are on to the minutes. We have the executive session minutes of February 26th, the work session minutes of February 26th, and the regular meeting minutes of February 26th. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We are on to consent agenda resolutions. We have 2020-117, a resolution approving special event applications. Resolution 2020-118, Sustainable Land Use Pledge, as revised as per the discussion during the work session. And 2020-119, authorized submission of a grant application to the State of New Jersey Department of Public Safety, Division of Highway Traffic Safety, under the U-Drive, U-Text, U-Pay, Distracted Driving 2020 Crackdown Grant. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Okay. We are on to individual resolutions. Resolution 2020-120, a resolution approving the payment of bills. Councilmember Chapman will abstain from 20-00278. Councilmember Clayton? Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Thanks.
Doing great, Lisa.
Councilmember Clayton?
Me, hold on, start with me.
Councilmember Chapman?
I forgot what I was doing.
You were abstaining.
I'm
From-
abstaining for that one.
Yes,
I'm
for that
voting
one.
on the others.
Okay. Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
No.
Okay. Resolution 2020-121, a resolution amending temporary budget appropriations for 2020 budget. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-122, awarding of contract to PNE LLC for an HVAC unit to be installed at Community Affairs Resource Center, 913 Sewell Avenue, Asbury Park. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-123, a resolution amending contract with T&M for Heck Street Services via change order number 1. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-124, award of a contract for the design and construction, administration, and inspection of citywide wayfinding signage within the Transit Village area of the city of Asbury Park. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-125, a resolution awarding of a contract to Whitfield Schneider Enterprises for boiler replacement at the wastewater treatment plant. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-126, awarding of a contract to Millennium Communications Group for DPW cameras. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-127, reimbursement and payment to the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth for the installation of an HVAC unit purchased from Aerodynamic Systems. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-128, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a subsequent developer agreement with 202 7th Avenue LLC for the development of property located at Block 4201, lots 3 and 4, 202-204 7th Avenue. Do I have a motion?
Move
Move
it.
it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-129, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Asbury Park acting as the redevelopment entity, granting conceptual approval to 202 7th Avenue LLC regarding residential development on Block 4201, lots 3 and 4, 202-204 7th Avenue, and referring the matter to the planning board for appropriate approvals. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-130, appointing members to the Planning Board, Class 4. We are appointing Eric Gallipo as an alternate number 1 member. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2021-31, appointing members to the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the City of Asbury Park, appointing Timothy Zylik as a regular member and Bonnie Nash as alternate number 1 member. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We are on to ordinances for introduction. Ordinance 2025, an ordinance amending and supplementing Section 7-14 entitled Parking Prohibited During Certain Hours on Certain Streets of Chapter 7, Traffic of the Code of the City of Asbury Park, New Jersey, accordingly, with a public hearing date of April 7th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Ordinance 2026, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the City of Asbury Park regarding traffic regulations with a public hearing date of April 7th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Ordinance 2027, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending and supplementing the Code of City of Asbury Park of New Jersey in order to establish a new chapter thereof to be known as Chapter 27 entitled Identification Card Program with a public hearing date of March 25th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
No, 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
The one that we passed with the change of language, you'll give?
Yes.
Okay. And I just want to say, Lisa, you did an excellent job. So
Thank you.
very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Now we can adjourn.
Oh, sorry. Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
Good job, Lisa.
Good job.
Thank you.